V. Premalata. She pursued her undergraduate in BSc Biology at the University of Madras. She then went on to do her teaching degree in the University of Madras. Taking a keen interest in Sanskrit, she then studied Masters in Sanskrit with Karnataka Open University. She pursued her MPhil, which was on Gorakshanata's Amanask Yoga, which is a unique treatise that explains yoga, which is benefit of mind. She continued her studies with a doctorate in Sthala Vrakshas in the Puranas, a biosocial study. Her focus on research is mainly in different fields of biological science from ancient Sanskrit treatises.
Swagatam. Welcome to UGC lecture series in Sanskrit language. In the previous class, we studied about the greatness of trees, and we are continuing with the studies in this lecture class also. So, in today's class, we are continuing with the study of some important trees that should be planted for earning merit under Taru Mahima, that is the greatness of trees. Then the number of each selected tree to be planted for accruing punya that is specified is also studied. The auspicious trees that are to be planted in the respective directions, the inauspicious trees that are to be avoided around the house, and the benefit of auspicious and the outcome of inauspicious trees under new topic will be studied today. Now, continuing with Taru Mahima. Parvati Toshita Tena Sabhavet Cha Niramayah Pujita Devataha Sarva Madhuko Yena Ropitah. By planting Madhuka tree, Goddess Parvati is pleased. He will live bereft of all illnesses, venerated by the celestials. That is the one who plants a Madhuka tree. We already saw in the previous class that Parvati grew a garden in her ashram, and the Saptarishis dissuaded her, and she told that one tree is equal to 10 suns. So, here we have the importance of Madhuka tree. Madhuka is Basia latifolia belonging to the family Saputaceae, and it is very therapeutic in value. It is used to treat all the uterine problems, and we have the evidences in Sushruta Samhita, in Chikitsasthana, and then we have the treatment of separation of umbilicus, and that is seen in the Charaka Samhita in Sharirasthana. So, apart from these therapeutic values, we have the flowers which contain a sugar, and it is a tonic, very calorific, and contains sapoglucoside, and it acts as a cardiac drug. And the butter from the seeds is edible. Madhuka butter is very tasty and good. Cures impotence caused by debility along with milk. It should be taken along with milk. And the bark is used for rheumatism, itch and diabetes. Planting milk exuding trees, plantain, grape, priyala, jackfruit trees makes one bereft of sorrow for 7 births. Chiraka, Kadali, Draksha, Priyala, Panasanvitan, Tarun Samropya no Dukhi, Jayate Sapta Janmaso. We will see why they say in 7 births one will be bereft of sorrow. Now, if you see Priyala, the fruits, seeds, gum, roots and leaves are all used, and the seeds are very nutritious, and it helps in diarrhea, and the gum with goat's milk prevents intestinal pain. Kernel paste is applied to skin diseases. In fact, it is used in cosmetology to remove all the blemishes and the black warts on the face, and it is a substitute for almonds. Priyala, as you all know, is Buchanania lanson belonging to Anacardiaceae family, and is extensively used in India in all the sweet preparations, in all the kheer preparations, and is very sweet and very tasty. So, with all the calorific value, it is very good for the health. Then we have Chirika and Kadali. Chirika, as you all know, is milk exuding trees like ficus family. banyan, udumbara, all these are milk exuding trees. They have a lot of therapeutic value and are used extensively in Ayurveda. And kadali, as you all know, is grown in every house, plantain tree, but has a lot of therapeutic value and has a lot of nutritive value too. And draksha. Draksha, of course, is grapes and is used in all the preparations, and draksha is very good for health with a lot of nutritive value and therapeutic value. So, unknowingly or intentionally, if one plants a jambu, now we come to jamun, jambu is jamun. Though being inside the house always, he will be considered the most righteous person. Ajnanat jnanato vapi jambuhu yena praropita grihe api sa vasen nitya ati dharmena yujyate. So, jambu is a very important tree, and let us see why the poet says he will be considered the most righteous person even though he stays in the house. That is, he does not go out and do a lot of charity, he does not go and work for others to earn his merits, but by staying in the house he earns a lot of merit, because Eugenia jambolana belonging to Myrtaceae, the jambu tree, has a lot of therapeutic value. The fruit, leaves, dried seeds and bark are used in therapy. The seeds contain a glucoside called jamboin. It is used in fruit juices. It is a diuretic and anti-diabetic, and the bark used for gargling in sore throat and spongy gums, etc. And the powdered seeds are remedy in diabetes, and it reduces thirst in diabetes. So, for diabetic people, this is a very important fruit. We continue with Tarumahima. Author says that one who causes others to plant fruit and flower yielding trees because they are very beneficial to mankind gets the benefit of gifting 1,000 most precious cows. He says Ratna Dhenu Sahasrasya. Here you see Ratna Dhenu Sahasrasya Palam Prapnoti Manavaha. Why does he say Ratna Dhenu Sahasrasya Palam Prapnoti? Because if you gift 1,000 cows which are very precious as the gems, it will be very beneficial to the household. So, causing others to plant trees, it is beneficial to mankind. It is a service to mankind. So, we have a list of a few trees that accrues a lot of merit in this shloka. Ashwatam ekam, Pichumandam ekam, Nyagrodam ekam, Dasha Chinchinikaha, Kapitha Bilva Amalaka Trayamcha, Pancha Ambravapi Narakam na Pashyet. One who plants a single ashwatha tree, a neem tree, a banyan, 10 tamarind trees, 3 trees of each of wood apple, bilva and amla, and 5 mango trees never goes to hell, because so many people will be benefiting by the fruits. They will eat the fruits, and all the parts of the trees are used by humans on the pathway and in temples and other public places, and it is a form of charity. So, that is why the author says those who plant these trees never go to hell. And then now we have a new topic. Nivasa Asanna Taru Shubha Ashubha Lakshanani is the topic, that is deals with the auspicious and the inauspicious plants. How do we know they are auspicious and they are inauspicious? We will see in the shlokas. The auspicious plants that should be planted in the directions specified in the text, the plants that are to be avoided around the house, the plants with vegetative propagation ought to be avoided totally in the premises of the house. So, we will see the shlokas as to why the poet says so. Grihasya purva digbhage nyagrodaha sarva kamikaha udumbarasthatha yamye varunyam pippalaha shubha plaksha uttarato dhanyo viparitamstu varjayet. A banyan tree at the east side of the house fulfills all desires. Likewise, Udumbara tree in the south and the Pippala tree in the west are very auspicious. Plaksha tree in the north is very beneficial, and if you find that they are not beneficial, they should be removed. So, these are the directions, and remember all the directions, which direction which tree should be planted and which should not be planted. And if you follow these rules, it will bring a lot of benefit to the owner of the house or the one who stays in the house. And if you feel that any tree, by planting any tree, you get some sort of a difficulty in your lives, then that tree should be totally omitted. Varjayet purvato ashwatham plaksham dakshinato grihat paschime chaiva nyagrodham tato udumbaram uttare. So, ashwatha tree should be avoided in the eastern direction. It should be planted in the direction that is stipulated in the text, and it should be avoided in the eastern direction. Plaksha tree in the south, banyan in the west, and udumbara in the north. The devas, danavas, gandharvas, kinnaras, demons, animals, birds and humans always resort to trees. Not just human beings, but the celestials also resort to the trees, and the demigods also resort to the trees. This is what the verse says. So, the devaha, danavaha, gandharvaha, kinnaraha, snakes, that is nagas are the snakes, uraga is snakes, kinnara, uraga, rakshasaha are the demons, pashu, pakshi, manushyacha, samshrayanti sadatarun, they always resort to the trees. Sarvesham vrikshajatinam chaya varjya grihe sada api sauvarnikam vriksham brihadware naropayet. The shadow of all types of trees, though they are beneficial, and even if they are planted in the right direction as stipulated in the text, those trees shadows should not be cast on the house. If any shadow is cast on the house, then that tree should be removed and planted elsewhere. The Savarnika tree should not be planted at the entrance of the house. Badari kadali chaiva dadimi bija purakam prohati grihe yasya tad griham na prohati. If badari, plantain, pomegranate and guava trees are grown in the house, it will never prosper. We were looking at Badari, Kadali and Dadimi Bijapurakam, and I have the picture of Badari, that is Sisyphus mauritania, belonging to the family Rhamnaceae. Look at the picture and note the form of the leaves. And we are continuing with the auspicious and inauspicious trees. Palasha, Kanchanara, Sleshmataka, Arjuna, Karanja and Ashwatha trees should not be grown in a joyous house. It means that they will bring sorrow to the house. Palashaha, Kanchanarascha, Tatha, Sleshmataka, Arjunaha, Karanjaha cha iti amivriksha na ropyaha sukhina grihe. And this is Kanchanara, Bauhinia variegata, belonging to Caesalpiniaceae. Look at the bright flowers and the form of the leaves. Now, we have the thorny trees. Asannaha kantakino ripu bhayadaha shirino artanashaya phalinaha prajakshayakara darunyapi varjayet tesham. Thorny trees in near vicinity instilling fear in enemies, milk exuding trees causing decline in wealth, and though fruit yielding yet stifling progeny should be discarded along with their woods. Thorny trees in the vicinity of the house, they bring fear of enemies, and the milk exuding trees like banyan and vata, those Kshirina trees, they cause decline in wealth, and though the trees are yielding a lot of fruits, very beneficial, are to be removed because they are stifling the progeny, that is children will not be born in that house and they should be discarded. Even the wood of the tree should not be used and should be discarded. See, we have the babul tree or the Barbara in Sanskrit. It is Acacia arabica, Mimosaceae family tree, and look at the thorns in the tree, very sharp thorns, and these type of thorny trees are to be totally avoided around the house. Now, sowing indigo plant and turmeric roots are always not beneficial because they will have, the owner of the house will have loss of sons and wealth. He will lose his children, especially sons, and his wealth, because these trees have vegetative propagation. They all grow and on their own and they are cut to pieces, say the wise sages. Neelim haridram cha naraha sada uptva putraihi dhanascha kshayam abhyupeyat etatstu sarvaha swayameva jata schidhyat rishinam vachanad vidignah. Now, this is the indigo plant from which we get the indigo color. Indigofera tinctora is the name belonging to Papilionaceae. And now we have the haridra or the turmeric that we use in common cooking. It is Cucurma longa belonging to Scytaminaceae family, and it has a lot of therapeutic value. I will tell you the therapeutic value and tell you why it should not be grown in the house. Curcumin, the yellow hue filters UV, ultraviolet rays and IR rays, prevents skin cancer. It's depilatory in nature. It's a lightener of the skin and it has anti-aging properties. Turmeric oil is extracted and used extensively, and turmeric always flavors food. Indian food is full of turmeric powder. It is antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. It fights smallpox, chickenpox and shingles. The recent studies show that it also prevents Alzheimer's and Parkinson's diseases. So, when you look at the root, you will see that it has a lot of small stubby branches. If you break these small bulby branches from the stem and if you plant them, you will have a new turmeric plant. And if you keep on be cutting these, how can the plant grow? You will be uprooting the whole plant and making use of the turmeric. That is tantamount to killing the entire plant. That is why rishis have told not to grow them in the house, because you will accrue adharma and it is not for your benefit. So, grow elsewhere, maybe in the field commercially, and then you can buy these plants. Now, we have the directions. Facing south, Yamya is south, that is the direction of the Yama, and southwest is Nairidhi, and southeast is Agni, and these are the directions a garden should not be constructed. Otherwise, one faces unsurmountable dispute, anxiety or sorrow. Na kuryat Yamya Nairidhya Agneyashvipi hi vatikam anyatha kalaha udvego kashtam va labhate brisham. Certainly, you will get into a lot of trouble, says the author. Hence, to enjoy the company of flourishing progeny, the king should choose the auspicious directions of the west, north and east directions. Tasmat rajñam hi shubhatam putra sannidhi vardhanam paschima uttara purveshu bhavet upavanam kritam. Now, we have the summary and I will sum up what we learned today. We learned a few of the trees from yesterday's class, a continuation of that, the important trees that have therapeutic value to be planted at home and the plants that should be avoided around the house, and then we learnt about the new topic, the auspicious and inauspicious trees, Shubha Ashubha Lakshanani trees, and the directions in which certain trees should be planted around the house, and the trees and plants that should not be planted at home, and the questions: what are the important trees that should be planted so that one does not attain Naraka? The directions in which banyan, udumbara and plaksha should be planted. You name them. Why should we not plant pomegranate, guava and badari around the house? Name the plants with vegetative propagation that should not be planted around the house. Now, summing up, let us see all the directions where the trees should be planted. Banyan tree at the east, it fulfills all desires. Udumbara in the south and Pipala in the west are auspicious. Plaksha in the north is very beneficial, and if they are not beneficial, you can remove them. And Ashwatha tree should be avoided in the east, Plaksha tree in the south, banyan in the west and Udumbara in the north. And the shadow of all types of trees, both beneficial or not beneficial, should never be cast on the house. If you find that any shadow of the tree falls on the house, then you should remove it. And Savarnika tree should never be planted in the threshold, near the threshold of the house. And if badari, plantain tree, pomegranate and guava trees are grown in the house, that house will never prosper. Palasha, Kanchanara, Sleshmataka, Arjuna, Karanja, Ashwatha trees should not be grown in a joyous house. And thorny trees near the house will bring fear of enemies, and all the Kshirina trees, that is the milk exuding trees, will cause decline to your wealth, that is you will become poor. And even if it gives a lot of fruits, if you find that you are not getting any children while you are living in the house, please discard those trees, it is very important. And also throw away the wood of the tree, do not use the wood of the tree. And indigo plant, turmeric roots, all these they have vegetative propagation and they are not to be planted, say the Munis, because of ahimsa. Look at the turmeric root, if you cut small pieces of turmeric and if you plant them, new plant will grow. So, when you are trying to get the turmeric for your use, you are destroying the whole plant. So, for that selfish reason you never plant those trees that are grown from vegetative propagation. So, for the purposes of ahimsa, you never grow trees and plants which flourish through vegetative propagation. With this, we come to the end of today's lecture. Thank you.